Have you wondered about those agitator-free washers, those high energy efficient washers? Do they really live up to the hype? Well, I've got one and I'm going to tell you exactly what I think about it, so keep watching. Welcome to This and That with Denise Jordan. I teach women how to make wise home health and beauty decisions so there's less chaos in their homes, they lead healthier lives, and they feel beautiful from the inside out. And today I am giving you a review of the Sears high efficient low water washer. Our old washer, after 20 years, went defunct, and we had to get a new one. So we got the Kenmore top loading high efficiency low water washer. And I thought it'd be interesting to let you know what I think about it. If you follow my channel, you've seen me use the washer off and on. So I've got some footage from when the washer first came out to the house, but I didn't want to do a product review until I'd had the washer long enough to really know how well it worked. So we got the washer last fall. So I've had it now for about 9 months. So I think I've had it long enough to give you a pretty good product review. So let's get started. I just have to show you this washer. The Sears repairman is here and it's all torn apart, and he said I need a new gear casing, which means I have to get a new washer, or at least that's the decision my husband and I are probably going to make. It's going to cost about $500 to repair it, so we're thinking we'll probably just go ahead and replace it because we've had this washer at least 20 years, so we can't complain about it. But I just wanted to show you what it's looking like. Let me give you a little bit closer look. Just look at that. Needless to say, I am not a happy camper. There goes my old washer. Yep. To the old washer graveyard. Here is my new washer. I am so glad that it is finally here. I'm looking forward to using it. Now, the workman set it to run a cycle, so I guess to kind of empty out any grease or debris or whatever might be in the barrel. So they're running the cycle through, and then after that, and I get to use it. The other issue we had is that I guess one of the pipes or cords or hoses back there was just a little bit rusted, so he couldn't get that off. So we'll have to get a plumber to come out to get that off so we can get the new hoses put on. But they did leave the new hoses here, so we've got that to address. Other than that, I am ready to go. So I am so excited. I've got the new Sears Kenmore top loading high efficiency washer, and I am just really looking forward to being able to use it for the first time. This is the continuing saga of my new washer. So when they brought it out to the house, the delivery guys could not unplug those cables. If you see real close in there, that one cable is rusted. So we had to call a plumber to come out and take that thing out of the wall and unplug that. So I got to hurry and get out of the way because the plumbers are back in the house. So here's my washer out of the wall again, and it's just sitting there all lonely, just waiting to go back into its home. He stepped out for a second to turn the water back on, so look at our new opening. Well, my washer is back in place, so I'll be able to get my laundry done today. Part of my weekly plan is to do my strip my bed and start my laundry, but I couldn't do that today since the plumber was here. So he's upstairs now working on the shower. The shower had a constant leak, so he's going to be changing out a cartridge or something like that up there. But we've got this put back in place, and I am so glad the washer's all ready to go. Now, what problem did we have? Well, he had to cut part of the wall out, part of the drywall, to get this original casing out and something else with the plumbing. So now we're going to have to get some drywall work done to repair the big hole that's left in the wall that plumbers don't work on. But that's something we can do a little bit later. But in the meantime, my washer is back, and everything should be working just fine. So we're set to go. Well, first of all, like I said, it's one of those agitator-free washers, so the drum is quite large and you can fill it quite a bit. So let me show you that. But I've got some things in it because it also, well, since it's agitator-free, instead of it going around like this, it kind of twists the clothing under like this. It takes them down and under. So I want you to see how the clothing looks when you get ready to take them out. So I'll bring the camera closer so you can take a look. Let's take a look at some of the settings on the washer before I open it up. So it's got several settings which I really enjoy. One is the heavy duty setting, the bulky bedding setting, and when you push that little button it starts, it makes that little noise, and I just love it. Don't ask me why, I guess I'm just a little geek. But there's a cold clean, a white cycle, soak cycle, normal, casual, delicates, express, rinse and spin, and then a clean washer cycle as well. So the washer typically will cycle back to whatever cycle you had it on the last time, and I had it on a normal cycle, so it goes here for 54 minutes. And then I also used a 2 rinse cycle. So when you look over here, one of the things you won't see is a water level, like high, medium, and low. What the washer does is there's a sensor in the washer, and it senses how much water it needs by the weight of the clothing that's in the washer. So you can delay the wash, then you can set your wash temperature. You can indicate whether or not your clothes are lightly soiled, if it's normal, or extra heavy. So that's a pretty good cycle to have. And then spin speed, and I usually have mine on high unless I'm washing a delicate. And then of course your cycle signal, and it's either off or it goes on high. And then over here you can do pre-wash, you can do a deep fill, you can do a 2 rinse, and then fabric softener cycle, or the steam clean cycle. And what I have found with this particular washer is that I use the bulky bedding cycle more than I thought I would. If I'm washing some things that are pretty thick or heavy, like my husband has a lot of fleece clothing or a bunch of jeans or something like that, I don't feel like I get a good wash on the normal cycle. So I've started putting those on the bulky cycle. So now let's open the washer up. So when you look into the washer, you can see that there's no agitator there. So you can put really large items like a bedspread or something like that in the barrel. But this is definitely a time when you want to use your bulky or bedding cycle. So when I'm doing sheets and towels, I'll often use that particular cycle too. But look how the clothes come out. See how that was twisted up? The clothes are twisted up quite a bit. See that? They can really be twisted up. Like, look how this is twisted up. So sometimes because of that twisting motion that you get, you end up with dry spots in the clothing. And my concern is if it's gone through the wash and the rinse cycle, how come there be dry spots in the clothing? But there is. So one of the things that I've done is I take a look at the little troubleshooting guide that comes with the materials, and it says to do a 2 rinse cycle. So if I have things that are really bulky, and that tends to be when I get that problem, then I'll use a double rinse cycle on those. So again, see how twisted up they can be. So they can lead to more wrinkling than what you would expect with a washer that has an agitator. You add your detergents and fabric softeners here. So if it's a liquid detergent, you put it in here. You can add your fabric softener here. If you're using a powdered detergent, then you take this tray out and put the powdered detergent there. And then there's a bleach dispenser right here. And this is your lid lock. And then of course there's other warnings and things like that that are here. Now, what problems have I had with this washer? One of the primary problems that I seem to have is when I'm washing darks. When I'm washing my workout gear, the yoga pants, and if I'm washing black shirts or t-shirts or some of my husband's black pants. When I wash them in the washer, when they come out, there's like strips of lint or something like that, kind of a whitish coating sometimes, and little strips in the clothing from where it's been kind of handled and turned under. So the troubleshooting guide says if you're getting that problem, one of the things you should do is use the 2 rinse cycle. And I do that, and that has taken care of the problem. The other thing that I'll do to try to avoid that is, depending upon how large a load it is, I will use the bulky bedding cycle. I've used that a lot more than when I first got the washer. The other interesting thing about this washer is that it just sounds different. When you are used to a washer with an agitator, it has that typical washer sound, like a which washers have had forever. But this one doesn't. It has a little bit of a different sound, and it took some adjusting to that. But it is fairly quiet. So it's a fairly quiet washer. So overall, do I like it? Yes, I really do. I like the fact that I can get a large load in, or as small as I like, and that I'm not wasting water. The washer senses how much water I need, and it puts it in appropriately. Every now and then, though, I will get a flashlight now, look in the top of the washer's top, because this is glass and you can see through it. So I will look through the top to see if I feel like there's enough water in the drum. And most of the time there is. But if I feel like I'm washing a load and it's not, then I'll put it on the deep fill cycle. Now, what don't I like about it? If I want to change the cycle, I don't seem to be able to change the cycle while it's running. I have to completely stop it and then start it over again, and then I can change the cycle that way. And I think that's it. Overall, I really like the washer. I like how quiet it is. I like the large drum. I like that it's got so many different cycles that I can use. And there's a few that I haven't even used yet, so I like that. And I think it's been a good purchase for my family. So now here's a question for you. Which part of this product review did you find most interesting, or do you still have questions about? Tell me in the comments section below. And just so you know, I've raised 3 children. I've managed a home for more than 45 years, and I'm a nurse by profession. So if you want to learn more about cooking, cleaning, laundry, planning, and health and beauty, subscribe. I would love to have you as a part of the TNT community. In the meantime, this is Denise Jordan saying goodbye. I'll see you in the next video.